If we've said it once, we've said it 1,000 times. Rideshare driving, whether you're driving for Uber or Lyft, is dangerous as hell. Nevertheless, some drivers have now taken to personally arming themselves and doing what they need to do. What up, folks? Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim with another ride-sharing video. Nashville, Tennessee is in the news for all the wrong reasons. Nevertheless, this is the driver we've been talking about from day one. Now, this comes to you from an actual article titled, "Nashville Uber Driver Fatally Shoots Passenger After Alleged Kidnapping." Yep, you heard it right. A driver has decided to clap back. As Master P would say, make them say, So it does appear that we now have drivers doing what they need to do, strapping up, carrying defensive tools on them, and using them when the moment arrives. Here is the actual details of the story. During the 911 call at 9:57 p.m., the rideshare driver told police on Thursday that Kieran Gardner kidnapped him at gunpoint. Nashville police said in a news release. Now, the 911 call coming from the driver is going to be very savvy. I want you to hear how he did this, because at the end of the day, this is certainly a lesson to us drivers, because a lot of us cannot make a 911 call in the manner this driver did. Now, remember, there's a gun on the driver when this call is being made. So that's the gist of it. But at the end of the day, not only having defensive tools on you, but you're going to notice the way he made this 911 call is a cause of concern for all of us drivers, because you could be in the same situation. And because most of us do not have the tools he had, you may not be able to make the same call or have the same outcome, which is favorable to the driver in this case. So pay attention to that, because it may make you change some of the gear you have in your vehicle. Continuing the story on. At some point, the initial call disconnected without the dispatcher obtaining much information, police said. The driver called again at 10:14 p.m. and said he shot Gardner in self-defense and gave the dispatcher his location. When officers arrived, they found Gardner unresponsive on the ground with multiple gunshot wounds. The department said Gardner, 23, died at the scene. Couple details. First of all, 23-year-old. This is the age, folks, so be cautious about who you're picking up. I've talked about it before. Young black males. I hate to say that, being a black male myself, but that is the primary culprit in cases like this. I don't have a picture to post of Gardner, but listen, I'm telling you what I'm saying. I cannot explain it to you any more than that, but young black males do seem to be the primary culprit in these type of events. But in this case, he called 911 at 9:57 and stated that he had an emergency. And then he called back at 10:14 p.m. stating that he had taken the life of his assailant. So you're talking 17 minutes. That instantly leads you to ask, what the hell happened in 17 minutes? Damn it, it don't take that long to shoot the hell out of somebody. So what was happening? Well, you will hear the gist of that, and this is where we're talking about having additional, having more technology in your vehicle than just a defensive tool. But damn it, keep your defensive tools on you. Absolutely, a defensive tool is what makes this story possible. Continuing on. Officers found a loaded pistol on the sidewalk next to Gardner's body, while the driver's pistol was in the driver's seat of his Chevy Tahoe, according to the police. So they did find two pistols at the scene. The assailant had his own gun, and as I stated, the driver was armed. So the driver, after committing, the act of self-defense and killing his assailant, probably set his pistol in the vehicle, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be holding a pistol when the cops get there. But they did find a second pistol on the ground next to the deceased assailant. So clearly, both of them had guns, and the driver was able to get the drop on his assailant and take his life. But this is how he got the drop, and this is the part that is very important, because some of us have iPhones, some of us have the little earpieces in our ear. Kind of important when you listen to what happened here. The driver told WSMV-TV at the scene that his initial 911 call attempt occurred in the drive-through lane of a downtown McDonald's along Broadway, where Gardner allegedly demanded he stop. The driver used the SOS alert on his watch and an Apple AirPod to speak with dispatchers. The call eventually disconnected when the dispatchers couldn't pick up on the driver's quiet hints, he told the TV station. So this was a very savvy driver. Now, we talked about tools. He has a smartphone connected watch. In this case, he has Apple equipment. I use Samsung, but he actually had a smartwatch on his arm, and he had earphones in his ear. The assailant is only looking at your actual phone. They're not thinking that you could use some of those other electric devices to reach out for help. This driver was smart enough to do that shit, and it sounds like it worked to his benefit. So he's using his phone to actually make an emergency call, and he already has the earpiece in his ear to communicate. The driver, the robber or the crook in this case, the suspect, the deceased motherfucker, he's only looking at the phone. So this is very smart. Now, a lot of drivers don't have all this additional equipment. Without this equipment, who's to say that simply having a defensive tool on you would have been enough? So shout out to the driver for using all of these things in conjunction, not only the technology, but certainly that damn pistol. So what we want to really talk about is the fact that this is my third video covering a driver being either shot at, having passengers get murdered, or in this case, having to kill his passenger because of gunplay in a rideshare vehicle. This happens a lot, folks. This happens a lot. So don't ever be under the belief that, well, it happens to them, it'll never happen to me. This happens a lot. If you don't have defensive tools on you, what do we say? Pepper spray, mace, something to slice or poke with, and if you're comfortable, definitely a firearm. This happens a lot. I'm covering stories like this all the time, 3 times in one fucking week. And there are other stories I didn't even bring to you. So it is very important to have defensive tools on you. Pay attention to who you're picking up. Where you are picking up people can mean a hell of a lot too. Avoid picking up people in deserted areas. Now, in this case, he made a call at 9:57. The dude was dead by 10:14. So what do we always say? After hours, after dark, a lot of shit happens. All of these factors you got to keep in mind. And last but not least, young black males. I'm not going to downplay that. Young black males are overwhelmingly the perpetrators of the stories I cover. It's generally a young black male, someone under 30 that is of African American descent. I could try to tell this story a different way, try to include other groups into it, but fact is, that is who is doing this. So once again, pay attention to who's getting in your car. Remember, at any given time, if you don't feel comfortable when you pull up to the curb or someone's property, you can drive off. These damn trips are paying between $3 and $10. Don't put your fucking life at risk to make pennies. Do not put your life at risk to make pennies. If you feel any type of intuition, you're losing between $3 and $10. Drive the fuck off. You'll make that on the next trip. So understand that, because once a person's in your car, it can be hell trying to get them out. We've done stories about passengers once asked to get out of the damn vehicle became incredibly violent. So follow your first mind. If you see something you don't like, drive off. But shout out to this individual for having his defensive tools on him, having the whereabouts and the wit to get a jump on his assailant and filling him in full of lead. Good on him. Once again, it is indeed your boy Tim. Feel free to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Stay safe. See you in the next video.
If you're not afraid of a gun, get one. Become proficient. Get a concealed firearms license and carry it. And if you need to shoot somebody, shoot them a lot.